We'll start recording. I haven't sent you any of the VODs yet, but I'll get there.
Straight out of the long little bio lecture. 3 hours long. Yeah. Oh, are you the same one? I think we're in. Yeah, we're in the same one.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, yeah, that's that. That's the exact same. Yeah. What's this? Yeah, your schedule is exactly fine, except I don't have that.
Okay. There's pros and cons to that projector there for sure. Oh my gosh. I just projected onto my eyes, yeah. What?
I did a wild guess.
Wildly.
Yeah. I think we're all the same.
Oh, yeah.
You got Penguin working?
Actually.
They try to put us in.
Well done.
Oh, I thought you
Hey,
wait a minute.
I kind of expected that, yeah.
Oh, you're going to be taking chemistry this morning?
What did you guys do after?
Did class start? What time is it?
Yes.
Oh, class started. Students, welcome to class. I think, are like all of you in chemistry?
Yeah. It's fair because it's all you.
So when I signed up for this thing, they're like, there's a bunch of students in the STEM program that take CS 151. And there's like 4, okay? They lied to me. So I'm teaching a bunch of chemists that are going to become biologists, right? Because you're all taking chemistry to do biology. Yeah, I don't know what biology. I'm like the opposite of biology, right? Like, the only thing we have in common is the thinking. The entire machines is antithetical to you all, right? But really, we can think of a cell as a machine, right? And then it's fine. Okay, cool. We got it back. All right. So today's class is pursuant to the you can teach whatever you want in CC clause of CC. And how that works is I was just upstairs like 100 minutes ago teaching intro Python to poor innocent first years that don't know what they've gotten themselves into, right? And in that class, I'm not allowed to teach what I want to. So I'm required to teach students to get to use VS Code, which is a text editor for Python files where you can click. You can use your mouse, right?
And you can actually delete something if you've messed up your code.
That is true, yes. Anyways, back when I was a toddler and I was walking uphill both ways to input my prompts to the Cray supercomputer that was a quarter mile away on campus connected over phone lines, we didn't have access to VS Code. None of the computers had mice. They only had keyboards. And another unfortunate thing that happened is that was also the last time people made software that was good because Microsoft hadn't ruined everything yet. And up there in the class the other day, I was pointing out that almost everything we use in our intro class is owned by Microsoft. And the problem with something being owned by Microsoft is that when I was a little child, I learned Microsoft Word, and then they changed how Word works every 3 years for the rest of my life, so I just stopped using it, because, I can't be bothered, right? So I'm going to teach you about Neovim. Neovim has a prefix and a suffix on it, actually. The prefix is neo, that means new, it's the new version of something. The suffix is M, that's short for improved. So this is actually the third version of VI. VI stands for visual. And it was the first text editor where you could see the text you were editing while you were editing it. But it is not a what you see is what you get text editor where whatever you type shows up on the screen. It is a different type of text editor. I'm going to teach you about Neovim because I am firmly of the belief that Neovim is the correct way to use to input text into a computer if you are a scientist. It is not the easiest way and it is not the fastest way to learn. But in exchange for teaching you the hard, correct way straight out of the gate, I'm going to not ask you to do crazy things with it, like edit hundreds of lines of code, right? Probably we might get right up to 100 if you use probably more lines than you need to, which I would expect you to do because you're learning, right? But hopefully it all fits on the same screen. So we're going to introduce that today, and now you're not going to have to input things over and over again into the Python interpreter, but maybe you're going to wish that you could, right? So we do these things not because they are easy, but because they are difficult, to quote President John F. Kennedy, no relation, who's also responsible for the U.S. space program. So why Neovim? It is free. It is widely available. What do I mean by widely available? If you go do a summer REU at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory associated with Berkeley, which some of our students do, all of those computers will have Neovim on it. If you get a job working as a development operations engineer at Amazon, all of the computers you work with will have Neovim on it. If you are taking CS151 and you install VS Code, you'll be able to use Neovim from inside of VS Code. So Neovim is ubiquitous. It is a standard for how to edit code. It is highly customizable. I'm not going to teach you to customize it. But as I was walking down here, I looked out the window and I saw students walking across the quad that are super into customizing their Neovim profiles, and I'll probably have them in here for a guest lecture at some point in time. Neovim is stable year on year. It is probably 50 years old. It's older than me, and it has not changed in that time, which means you learn it once. One of the other benefits of this is that if it's that old and hasn't changed and people still used it, there's some argument that it has to be fundamentally good. I've been persuaded of the goodness of it over time, which was not my initial impression. I think that once you know how to use it, it is very fast and very powerful, and it also makes your brain bigger. So it's sort of good for that reason. I have also linked to you here a video where someone who, what is this? Okay, so there's this like person who's like European maybe, Yannick Burr. It seems pretty European to me, but you never want to assume. This person is employed by a company based up in Seattle called Posit. They're called Posit now because they changed their name from RStudio to Posit when Python started out competing R in the market. And they were called RStudio because they made a program called RStudio that was a text editor for R programs. Anyways, so this person works for a company whose product is not Vim. And this person was paid to make a series of videos how to use Neovim with their products because so many people use Vim. So I'm trying to make the argument that from a marketing perspective, there's people that will use Vim no matter what, and even if your entire company sells not Vim, you still have to cater to Vim users. Because so many people are so good at using this and it's so powerful, there's no real alternatives. You can watch this 12-minute and 26 video sometime, and Yannick will explain to you why you should use Vim. And I thought it was quite persuasive. How does Vim work? Well, in sort of the classical computing sense, it's going to be in the terminal. It's going to have different modes. We can think of modes being a bit like some of the things we've seen in Python, and I'm going to open my terminal now and just show an example. Ooh, this is too low. I got to raise that. Let's make a new terminal. That's other stuff. So if I open Python 3, we can sort of think of this as changing the mode. So if I type print hello world here, or print 1 plus 1, I get to see 1 plus 1. And I can think of this as my terminal being in the Python mode. I can also exit Python, and then I'm sort of back in terminal mode. I haven't taught you anything about terminal mode in particular, but one of the things you can do in terminal mode is type Python 3. But if I type Python 3 inside Python, I get an error, right? So there's different modes that my terminal can be in. There are some other things I can do outside of Python. For example, I can still do the hello world by typing echo hello world and get roughly the same idea. But I think if I type echo 1 plus 1, I'm no longer performing addition here. It's just giving me the text back. So this is sort of the notion of modes. Neovim itself has modes, and it is sort of a mode of the editor. So I can type, for example, nvim, which is Neovim, and it will open up the beginning of a text editor inside of my terminal. So that's how this works. Depending on what you have typed previously, the things you type later have different meaning. It is very similar in that sense to if I define x to be equal to 4 and then add some number to x. That is different than if I define x to be equal to 6 and add some number to x. It is terminal based. I think one of the responsibilities I have as a computer scientist for future scientists is to persuade you that the terminal is powerful and something you should learn to use. something you should learn to appreciate. I think it'll be difficult to persuade you of this in one semester, but I'm going to try regardless. Right? Students generally find it difficult to get started, though it is widely preferred by experienced users. I did not start in Neovim. I decided it was too hard, and I gave up without putting in the requisite effort, and then I had to learn it later on in my life when I wanted to be more efficient. So I'm just going to start you now. I think it should be empowering to get access to Neovim. I would certainly use it in all of my classes now with what I know. So I'm going to do my best to set you up for success with this like really, really powerful and novel technology. Here I'll give just one motivating example. I spend an unhealthy amount of time watching Twitch streams. Does anyone else do this? Good, don't. But anyways, one Twitch streamer was working on an add-on for a video game or something and was manually editing individual lines of text repeatedly the same way over and over again. And me and every other huge nerd in Twitch chat was screaming in agony watching someone do this, right? Because we've all learned text automation. And we persuaded this person to install, not Neovim, but Notepad++, which has the same functionalities in it. And then this person could edit hundreds of lines of text simultaneously and save a lot of time. I never would have thought it mattered what text editor a professional Twitch streamer learned how to use in undergraduate, right? But here was a very specific case where it came up and it was a lot faster, right? So once you know how to do these sort of different ways of importing information into a computer, it can be quite useful for you. Many of you are biologists. I know the biology department is going to teach you some specific software and technologies at some point in time. I suspect Neovim could potentially be useful, though you will have to figure out how it is useful, right? So we're going to have a running example. And the running example is we're going to start with the piecewise function example that we all worked on last time, right? We're going to touch on Python. We're going to touch on the terminal a little bit. I'm going to introduce modes, motions, and operators. And I'm going to find what each of these things are. There are spoilers for the last exercise that we did on Friday, but that's okay. I already showed you all the solution to that, and we had some time to work on that in class. So this was what the assignment was last time, or the exercise. I asked for a function def single tax given pay based on the following taxation table, and you were supposed to return tax cost and not print it. Why is that? Well, maybe we want to check a bunch of tax costs or something like that. And there was also a bonus assignment, which we're not necessarily going to come back to, though you can if you want to. Right? It was solving a system of equations. Here are some solutions. These are spoilers. I solved the problem in the following way. Given someone's pay, I checked to see how much was in the top bracket, and then I taxed that at the top rate. Then I removed that pay from consideration, but I saved that in tax. So I assume someone starts with zero tax, and if they make more than this much money, I charge them at the high rate, and then I set their pay to whatever is left, right? And I did this over and over again down each of the tax rates until I had only not considered pay less than $9,275. I taxed the pay under $9,275 at the rate of 1%. 10%. Is that right? Yes, I think you pay 10% on the first night. Yeah, so that's a 10%. And so I take the remaining pay that is not in any of the higher brackets, multiply it times 0.10, and add additional tax to that. Frequently asked questions, why do you start at the top and go down? I found it easier. It doesn't matter which way you go, right? Here's the example with a for loop. And what you see over here is I noticed there was frequent repeated text. So I have 415,000 in 3 places here. So I replaced that with a variable bracket 0, which is the first value in bracket. And then there's a tax rate, which is bracket 1. So that's the 396. And then the return statement at the end is the same. Do you have to understand this perfectly yet? No, we're spending 4 weeks on this, so we'll get used to it over time. And my hope is that you become more familiar with it as we introduce attached technologies such as Neovim. So we're going to work through this again today. I found this exceedingly tedious to type. Did you all find this exceedingly tedious to type? Did you perhaps make typos? Then it was really hard to go back. No problem. I've got a solution for you. It's a text editor. It's called Neovim, right? So we're going to introduce the solution. Hopefully this is quite similar to what you were looking at on your devices. I think it probably was. And in fact, you can just check it. Python 3. What pay should we check? Anyone have any preferences?
95,000.
95,000, great. That is the listed salary for my position. Actually, we're hiring this year. So apparently, I pay $19,636.75 in tax a year, but only if the IRS catches me. Otherwise, I pay exactly zero. Right? Wink. Okay. I do not endorse tax evasion. It might be too late. I might have already endorsed it. Okay. So, pay your taxes or don't get caught. Right? That's okay. So, no, that's not what I meant to say. Pay your taxes. Don't tell them what we're talking about in this class. Okay. All right. Thank you. Cool. We're going to take a little aside to introduce file types. Does anyone know what a .png file is? Some of you. Do any of you know what a .gif file is? I think that's maybe one of the more famous file types. .doc, D-O-C. That sound familiar? Anyone work with those? How about a .html, a web page? Yeah. So PNG is a portable network graphic. This is probably a PNG. Did that work? No, it didn't. Ooh, okay. I think this is a PNG. Can I check? Not easily. Okay. A PDF, you all know what PDFs are, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty common one. We are going to introduce the .py file. That just stands for Python. It's just a little shorter than Python. And .py files are just a little bit special in the sense that Python or Python 3 or whatever can recognize them. So a py file is much like a txt file, a text file, a file that only contains text characters. What's that mean? Well, if I come back over here to, how do I get out of this? Exit. On this computer, I think I probably, let's see if there's anything in pictures. Is there anything there? Right, so I have a picture here, Julia, and maybe I have screenshots, I don't know. So I can look at this picture with a text editor, and it doesn't really look like anything, right? There is some text we might be able to recognize in here. I think I've told you all about matplotlib, so maybe that seems familiar. We notice it starts with PNG, but there's also a lot of stuff in here that's not probably something that a human would type, right? And so this is image data. It's not really textual data. It's not really meant for me as a human to view it. So it's not a text-based format. We can get out of here, and we can go look at some course materials. For example, we can look at this class, and we can look at... there's an index. Oh, hey, let's look at a PDF. We'll look at nvim file.pdf. I wonder what that is. So again, not really a text-based format. You would not necessarily edit this as a text file, right? It's unclear what each of these things do, even though some things maybe make a little bit of sense, right? But we can also look at, for example, an HTML file. This one's not so bad. These are all words, right? Even though there's things that look like code in here. And so if we come through here, let's see, lots of information. That's looking pretty reasonable, right? I think we can recognize what's going on here. So I could, in fact, change the course number here just by editing this directly. And so this is a text-based format. Look, it's us. Okay, it's me now. Okay, and Claire also. And then here's the link to the syllabus and so on, right? So this is a bit of a text-based format, but this is still not as necessarily as text-based as it could be. Sort of the most text-based thing that I can think of is a Python file. So I'm going to go ahead and open one of those. I'm going to nvim hi.py. This is going to make a new text file. And then the first thing you're going to do usually when you open a new file is you start typing. And so I can type, for example, print. Oh, and that doesn't work because P is a special character that is encoded to do something specific in Neovim. That is a slide that I was editing from another class before I walked down here, so it's saved as a variable in my editor, and that's probably not what I intend to do. So in order to edit text in Neovim, I'm going to change what mode I'm in. And what we can see here is that there's some nonsense down at the bottom of the screen, and depending on what I input, I'm going to see different responses. So right now it says no lines in buffer. That's because I hit P again. and there was nothing to paste. But if I press I change into insert mode. Insert mode is the mode where when you type things, they show up in the file. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to type print. I'm going to type hello world, which is just a typical thing we say in a programming language. Now, that doesn't solve a fundamental problem I have where I'm still stuck in Neovim in this window. So in order to do that, I'm going to change my mode again. I'm going to press escape, and then I'm going to save and exit my file with :x, which stands for save and exit. And when I do that, then I can run the Python file using Python 3. And so that's sort of the end-to-end process we want to build up to here. So that's what we're going to work on today. I think this will be hard, or this will feel hard for you to use. I don't know if I believe it will be hard. It is unusual. This is not a typical way to use computers you've probably experienced. And it is very keyboard heavy, so if you're used to using touchscreens, it'll probably seem even weirder to you. But one thing I want to point out is I have not used the mouse today. And while I was driving down here, for example, I drive a stick shift. When they teach you to drive, they teach you to keep your feet on the clutch for shifting gears and the gas and brake pedal so that you can react dramatically more quickly to changing circumstances. When I'm teaching you to code, I'm teaching you to keep your hands firmly on the keyboard so that you can be faster, so that you can code at the speed you think without moving your hands around and dragging the mouse around or without touching the screen, right? That's sort of the same conceptual idea. And I think it probably felt unnatural to us. I don't know how many of you learned to drive or how you learned to drive, right? To have to keep your feet in certain positions or your hands in certain positions, right? But there's an underlying reason for doing so. So let's get you all Neovim. Here's how I recommend getting it on your computer. We're going to go to the official page and get an installer for our computer. So we can go ahead and open this. Are you all on either a Windows computer or a Macintosh computer? You're not. You're on Neovim. You're on... I'm going to walk over and look at your computer and figure out how to install it, but I have an idea. Okay. So the rest of you, go ahead and click this link. Click Install Now. And I don't know where it'll take you, but maybe you'll have Mac or Windows, and you should probably just click on one of these things. We'll pretend I'm on Windows. Then I go ahead and click this, and it downloads a Windows installer. So go ahead and step through that process, and I'm going to figure out how to do this on a Chromebook. Any questions before we try that, and then I will walk around and help you all? And you can just click on the next page as well.
You just immediately click the green button.
I don't think you should do it this way. Can you open wherever you have Python? Okay. Can I push your screen back a little bit? Awesome. Don't worry about what's happening here. That one.
Oh, is that where you just sort of?
Yeah, just
Let's go down. Where do I go?
More into the internet.
Weird.
okay. Good. I'm not sure which one.
I don't know either.
I'm just gonna go for it.
So I'm here.
Yeah. Okay.
Download the Neovim setup wizard. Oh, shoot, I have to reveal all of your names. Oh, yeah, the cool-wise. That's Jason.
Does it matter which one I install?
It's the one for Mac. Oh, June here. No, how old are you? Yeah. I know 2 years. I think so, because it says in here, right?
Yeah.
I think you should do x86, but we're going to find out. Just
Okay,
because
I did
want
that.
I did x86. My computer's really new.
to. Yeah.
Is that-
Is yours a Mac?
Yeah.
Did x86 work?
I think so.
Well, eventually when you finish installing, it will either pop up or not.
You popped like this. There's two. I don't know.
How do you install other things? Have you ever installed software on your
Install from
computer
download.
before? Okay.
Yeah.
I would Google how to install Neovim on Mac.
Mac, oh wait, pre-built archives for x86.
Is it because of my Windows?
We're supposed to copy that and then put it,
Yeah, that's probably fine. Just do that.
boom, and
Put it in
then.
your home. Yeah, that looks good.
Ooh.
Oh, that was fast. Okay, okay. Help.
Okay. All right. So, are you on the? Oh, my
My
bad.
terminal's not working.
Are you on the Neovim website? Oh yes. Okay. So what I did, I downloaded that and then
What's the top one?
yeah, the top extra, yeah. And then I went through Mac OS and I copied and pasted that and I put it in. And it should be good. Is that what you were doing?
Maybe you should.
Yeah.
It's on.
Yeah. I grew it for a second.
How do you say your name? Lasan.
Then you try to start my computer.
Alright.
Did it like pop up?
Are you in Python?
Does it? Yeah, it's just kind of.
Oh, I was just in the
Hey, that's what
maybe
that's
exit first. So like exit.
Look at it.
Yeah, you have to exit.
There's something you're supposed
Exit,
to
yeah, exit, and then two.
Triggered a whole little bit of code. And then boom, it just vomited all on this.
Not
Yeah.
Or
It was beautiful.
yeah, just like that.
Been there.
All right, and
The
then
best part is there's absolutely none of what it does.
Okay.
yes, and then it'll pop up.
You're right.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, no worries.
Oh,
I'm just gonna make one of these probably.
oh, that's cool.
Can I?
Oh,
We'll do
these things still not work.
One of them works. You just gotta
I'm just gonna get this chair.
do it right. You just gotta do it right.
Okay. Give it a shot.
Frick. 6 or 8.
Yeah, I'll plug this in and then we should open it.
Yeah.
I'll see what I did there.
Less than an hour, I think.
Thank you.
of time.
I scroll down where it said Mac. That's
You
Max.
can barely get through one.
Was it like this one?
Yeah, it's one of those two over there.
Yeah.
Not that one.
And,
Not that one?
it also sometimes will have you restart 3 or 4 times. in a
Still
row
no. Look at this.
And not let it exit
Nope.
after failing
Back.
its time. So I'm very happy to
Does that
see
work?
it.
And then I get out of this by
I'm
going
gonna try
colon
something.
S. Save.
Okay, this one.
I didn't see.
Is there some button I'm supposed to press?
I think you just looked like you failed it and it just on the screen. Does that make sense? Okay. Are there other Mac people that are
This one
supposed
isn't
to?
fake.
Are you good?
Mine did it.
Yeah.
Brother Dominic, do you know if these albums work or?
No idea.
No idea.
You can use this one.
That one works. Oh, sweet.
But when,
I said it's.
I swear this will work.
oh yeah, I just thought
Nothing.
I don't know.
Yeah. Alright, well, I'll just.
Reopen the terminal.
Oh, thanks for closing that.
That might be it. That's just perfect. Just reopen it. Just reopen it. We should have had a Max like check this stuff.
Yes.
Every single time my computer has to restart.
Turn it off and back on.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Good. Yeah. Just chill.
Yeah.
I mean, make the money win.
Yes.
Help poor children in Uganda.
Like the thing where you just copied it. I don't know.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay. I'll just go. Okay, so you downloaded it, that's the green button. So mine just have. You might want to go back. Yeah, oh yeah, here we go. So you downloaded this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I went down to that here. Which is not there.
that. Refresh it.
Oh,
Yours is not.
do you?
Oh, we can check.
I do.
It'll look different.
I'm gonna go back.
And I do have it remembered off the top of my head, which is very useful.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's what it's supposed to look like. Yeah. And then get out of it. Pull it. That'll send you back. Colon. Shift. Back. Again, shift. Shift. Press that.
No, I saw
Let's see who's done. So what do you have, Lori?
I had to restart my computer because it wasn't functioning.
Okay.
I got it downloaded, but my terminal wouldn't work.
Yeah, that'd be nice, thank you.
What, there. That might work best.
Yes,
Insert
it,
mode.
okay,
Press
the
escape.
terminal works now.
Colon. X. No problem.
Yeah, I have no idea what
Is
that's
that weird?
popping on. It's fucking-
You've done things and I don't know what you've done.
Colon Q.
Colon Q exclamation point always works, but it doesn't save your work.
So, okay, do I just type in Envin now?
Totally. Let's see what works. This looks like you probably don't.
Yay!
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's just slow. Cool. Good job.
Okay, sweet.
Okay. Someone was sitting here that maybe had a
Is that, does his last name, does that say Muncie? I'm trying to email him the code because it wasn't popping up.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, I'm gonna just go for it. Okay, and then copy and paste that. Put.
Wait, is this is a Mac? Okay.
Into, wait, that's not a Mac?
This is a Mac, yeah.
Oh, that is a Mac?
How do you get Searchlight? Wait,
Type something or just.
X86. X86, whatever. I don't know what that means. No.
No.
Did you just get an email?
In Gmail?
You got an email?
I got ended.
Oh boy.
Hopefully you're all friends now.
On my phone, let's see.
Like,
I hope I didn't send that to the wrong person.
That's weird. Shouldn't you like all be on
I
with
did.
me or something? You're all supposed to be friends in like a couple weeks. I don't know how that works. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sweet.
Wait.
Just checking the position.
It's gonna be Tuesday
I
at
sent a little note back.
My camera is.
Alrighty.
Oh yeah, I think it is.
That's
Tuesday.
fine, yeah, okay.
Because one
I
of
think
them.
it's the same class.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so-
check. Let's see what we got. Because one of them is like in the morning.
Yeah, I thought one of them's on Thursday too.
Yeah, there is one on Thursday. I thought there was someone who had it. I forget. Okay, people.
Do you type, what did you type? Nvim, Neovim, or Vim to get it open?
And then, I just copied and pasted the thing and opened it for me.
I should open it again and see how it works.
How
Okay.
do I just?
It's colon X to get out.
It's 3 hours.
Type colon X. It's text based.
What?
I think they lost
What do you
it.
type? colon
I
key.
think they lost
Oh.
it 3 hours.
why doesn't it be doing something?
Oh, thank you.
Type Nvim and press enter and see what happens. That's interesting to me. Type Vim and press enter and see what happens.
Oh!
Okay, that's not Neovim, but that's fine. Okay.
So much.
He improved.
I just wish someone would let me buy a Mac. Okay. If you're on Mac, you might type VIM instead of NVIM to get the same thing. I don't know how Macs work. We'll figure it out.
Been improved.
The way we're gonna figure it out is we're gonna like walk around and talk to
You
friends
press
and
the
they'll
colon
realize what we
and
did.
then just X. Does that work? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it worked.
Okay, so for a quick demo, I think there's a few things that can happen. I think on Mac, if you type Neovim, you might get an error, but if you type Vim, you might get something. This is Vim, VI improved, it's fine, it's the same thing. I also get it for VI, and this is the prefix suffix thing, it's all the same things. And then on Windows, you're probably getting NVim. It is in fact true that Neovim and Vim are slightly different, but no one actually knows the difference between the two of them, so it's fine to use either one. Okay. Raise your hand if you cannot get to a window that looks something like this. Okay. What happens if you type Vim in the terminal?
Oh, I typed VIM. Yeah, try VIM.
I did Vim, and then VI,
Oh, you're going to do it on it.
and then,
Oh.
you can't, wait, so does it automatically go?
I don't know what automatically go means.
Like, does it automatically work for Python? Like, you don't have to have both running at the
Vim
same time?
is not recognized.
I'm confused those words.
I don't know any antecedents you're using for your sentences. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And Vim works.
It automatically goes from the
I guess I'll figure it out.
So let me.
You just take a terminal and it goes into Python, you can't go.
You can't go through
Vim. You have
Python
to go-
to.
yeah.
Oh.
You have to go back to the
Okay.
terminal.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So we open the
That
terminal.
makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't get to
Wait,
it.
open the terminal. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use one application to make it.
Yeah. You can use just the terminal.
You gotta go home.
Okay.
Doesn't do anything.
We're figuring it out. Ooh, how we help the poor children in Uganda? Do you have that?
Okay.
Yeah, you do.
Check Vim. Unless you have Vim.
What?
There that works for you. And then you
It's a
text
lot
this with
for you. Is there any other-
Oh, yeah.
Shift, press this button.
Press
And press X.
ICCF enter.
And then if you go on Python, you use separate
Oh.
Python for you. So I can't type
Let's
this.
see what happens.
Children you've got.
Tell us.
But if I type Vim in Python, Python will think it's a variable.
Oh.
So it won't come in
Okay.
there. But you can get out of
Charity
this,
ware.
text it,
Okay.
and then you can Vim.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
There's a graph that's there. Oh, good. Good luck, man.
Wait, what I did?
I don't even know what I saw. What's that, dude?
Okay.
We're good. Everything again.
Oh, it is lunchtime. Wait, why do we have class during
Every time it
lunchtime?
actually gets a little bit worse.
I mean, not when you tell us.
Yeah, right. Okay. So here's the difference between Vim and Neovim. There isn't one. It's almost identical, right? What tells you you can quit, you can get help. But you don't need help because you're strong, independent first years that don't need no help.
How do you get in the Neovim on a Mac? You just.
I don't know.
Okay. I'm gonna try something.
Yeah, just try things. So I think this is how this works on Windows. Hit Windows key and press terminal. On Mac, you open, is Launchpad a thing on Mac? Do any of you know how Macs work? There are many Macs in this room. None of us know how any of them are.
Launchpad?
Okay, I don't know.
What?
I think it's like Finder.
Oh,
Sure, yeah, we can take
Finder.
Finder. Here's Windows.
Wait, there might be a Launchpad. Where it like pops up all the apps.
Oh yeah, there's.
Yeah.
I got a 0.
Okay,
Oh yeah, there's Launchpad.
so
Maybe. All right.
let's, I'm just going to step through the process of how this works. Okay? We're going to open the terminal. So I'm going to close the terminal I have, and I'm going to open the terminal. I'm going to do that by pressing the key that opens like my search bar. I'm going to type in terminal, and then I can type in Vim or Neovim. I'm going to type Vim because I think that's what the Mac people that are like vaguely in this part of the room, you're like sort of in a strange shape, like a trapezoid or something, and you're in the wrong place. Yeah. So and then I could type Vim. Okay. Right. This gives me Vim. Just to circle back on how you get text in the file, I can go into insert mode and I can type something that's allowed. And then I can exit that. Now, if you type something, if you're in insert mode, you have to press escape, which takes you out of insert mode. Do you see how the insert went away? Okay, I'm going to press I. I'm in insert mode. I press escape. I changed back into insert mode because the first key I hit by accident was I. Okay. There you go. Okay. So Once I exit insert mode by pressing escape, then I can exit Vim with colon, which is shift, and then the key sort of next to enter. It's next to L. It's right there. I refer to that as a colon. And then you can press X, and that won't work if you've typed in the file, because you're trying to save something to a file that doesn't exist. But you can always use Command Q, and this is quit, and exclamation point, and that's leave no matter what. So we can use that to get out of Vim. Okay. You can also enter Python, and you can print 1 + 1. That is allowed. But you cannot enter Vim from Python. Because in, oh goodness sakes, because in Python, those words, those combinations of letters, if I just type a combination of letters into Python, it's interpreted as a variable, right? So it's the same thing as X. But I can set neovim equals to 7, and then vim equals to 8, and I can add neovim and vim together, and that's probably not what I mean to do, right? So I can exit out of Python, and then I can open nvim, or I can open vim. Now, if I type Python in one of these files and then press enter, that also doesn't start Python. There's different modes that the terminal is in, okay? So that's how I'm sort of going to navigate this. I'm going to go to the terminal, open Vim, write some code, exit Vim, run the code in Python, exit Python, enter Vim, and sort of go back and forth between these two things. So this is what I did, and I think I will update these slides to say on Mac OS you just use Vim, because I think that's what we've converged on using. Do you have nvim working?
No, Google said it was just nvim too, but
I was really surprised it didn't work.
yeah, I don't know.
There's one of the CS faculty has a Mac and is like maybe in one of those offices, and I might check after this class and we'll see. So you'll probably see something like this. You all saw something like this, right? Does it look familiar to you now? Okay. Now we're going to introduce the notion of modes. I've been teasing modes a little bit because you have to do anything, but here it is. Nvim, Vim, or VI are modal text editors. They are editors that have modes. By default, typed characters will not appear in the document. I can type nvim, and then I can type hello, and some strange things happen, but hello does not show up. HELL, none of those are commands, but O is a command, and so that's why O did something. Okay, we'll get out of there. Okay. Rather, by default, we are in command mode. Command mode is the mode that we can exit from, among other things. So we press I to get into insert mode, okay? So I'm going to switch back. I'm going to open nvim. I can type he many times. It doesn't do anything. I press I once, and then I can laugh merrily as much as I want. Hehehehe, for example, is something that I could say, right? And so that is an example of one mode, okay? Changing back over. You should see insert at the bottom of your screen. Don't believe me? There it is. It's right there. Insert. Insert. Okay. And it is good to just enter and exit insert mode a few times, depending on what you like to do. Now, I think I might be able to click my mouse, and that'll change where the cursor is. That's what we call cheating. Using the mouse, not good, right? No one likes the mouse, right? So instead, we can navigate with the arrow keys. This is getting closer to the idea of Vim motions, which is how this was used before there were mice. When I use Vim on my Windows computer, the mouse just doesn't work. So your mouse might not work depending on what computer you're working on, right? So navigate around with the arrow keys. Okay? Now we can copy paste into Vim using the piecewise function. So we'll take an example of that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, can you actually see my hands at all when I do this? Is this even useful? Okay. It's deeply uncomfortable for me, so I'm going to stop doing it. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of he, and I'm going to do that. I can either press backspace and delete a bunch of times, or I can go back into command mode and press D twice, which deletes the entire line. Up to you. I'm now going to copy paste in the piecewise function. So I'm going to copy this by clicking the little key over here. It's going to copy the text. It's going to copy it to clipboard. You can also, of course, highlight it, click, copy. You can do this however you like. I'm going to click this little button because I find it the easiest way to do this on the slides. Okay, so I'm going to copy that to clipboard. I got a little checkbox which says it's correct. I'm going to press Alt-Tab to go back to my terminal. I'm going to make sure I'm in insert mode, which I am. So it says insert at the bottom, and I have the text on my clipboard. Usually, I would perhaps press Control V or Command V on Mac. You can also right-click and paste. I'm going to use the special keyboard shortcut, which I think is Control Shift V. So I press and hold Control, I press and hold Shift, and then I type V, and that copy pastes something in from outside of the terminal. Control C and Control V means special things inside the terminal, so we have to add the shift to make sure things don't break. Okay, so that's how I get the piecewise function into Neovim. Okay?
Where is it? That's on the slide.
It is on slide 25.
On the other?
Yes.
No.
So these are the Neovim slides, and I'm on slide 25. And you can find this also if you're just on the course webpage. That's really small. You can go to Neovim however you like, and then I just Control F piecewise. It's the third or fourth time it shows up, and you can grab it from here as well. Okay. I'm going to go back to the slideshow, and I'm going to navigate using this menu down to wherever it was. I don't know, where do you think it was? Piecewise, there it is. Okay.
How do you escape it again?
How do I?
How do you escape input again?
How do you? Okay, to get out of Neovim, depending on if you're in insert mode or not, you might have to press escape. So if it says insert at the bottom, you have to press escape. If it doesn't, you don't. And then I do colon, and you can either do Q exclamation point to exit without saving, which I'm going to do now because I have text in my file, or you can do colon X to exit with saving. I'm going to go ahead and open Neovim again. I'm going to enter insert mode, and I'm going to paste in the piecewise function. Okay.
It's just recording.
Okay. So this is, I was going to save this as pw.py. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to exit insert mode. I'm going to do colon X to save and escape. And I think I can just put password.py here to give it a file name. Would that work? I think so. And then I can do python3 password.py, and that works. Okay. So that was a way to save my piecewise function in a file. And I'm going to show you what I saved again. Also notice when I saved it with a .py extension, I got syntax highlighting, so there's a lot of color now. Okay, I think I saw Fletcher's hand first, so we'll go there first.
I'm trying to exit after I've copied and pasted the piecewise function,
Mm-hmm.
and it says I can't because there's no file.
Yes, and the way I solved that was I pressed escape to get out of insert mode. I did colon X to save and quit. I pressed space once. Look at the bottom of my screen. Look at the bottom of my screen, and I saved it as password.py. And so that was the name of the file. Okay.
I have the same question.
The same question?
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Was there another hand in this cluster of 4 students? Okay.
Double space.
Did you sit there yesterday?
Yesterday?
Or
On
Friday? Okay. I was thinking there was 2 of you. That was very confusing.
Oh.
Yeah, you're one person in 2 places.
Yeah.
Ugh. No one else moved, right?
So escape.
Sorry.
Escape and then
No, it's okay. I'm just making sure I'm not losing my mind. Are there?
and then you have to
Yeah, because there's still 12 of you. So the number of students is constant. All right.
and then space.
Thank you.
And then
I just wanted to confirm.
I named it
Okay.
pw.py.
And the PW just stood for piecewise for me. That's all I. Yeah. Okay. So this is pw.py. Okay, good job. Now, this is the slide answering the questions that I just answered. Thank you, Barton Fletcher. And command mode right. Yes. Okay. So we press escape. We'll go ahead and do this again. I'm going to save something else. We'll create neovim hello.py, or no, neovim. Pressing I to enter insert mode. We'll just print something. And then I'm going to press escape to get out of insert mode. I'm going to hold down shift and press the key next to L to get the colon. I'm going to press X to get save and exit. I press space, and after the space I give the name of the file. We'll call this hello.py. And that exits amicably. Okay? And then I can see that hello.py was saved, and also now with the .py extension I can see that I have syntax highlighting. My text isn't all the same color. This can be quite nice. Now that this has a name, I can just do :x, because you only have to name the file once.
Can you only name the file when you exit Neovim?
No. I'm going to save this with a different name using W for write. Write as hi.py. Oh, that file already exists. What should I name it as? hello2.py. So that saved it as hello2.py.
You have to save the py.
For it to work as a Python file, you have to use that extension. But I can save this as something else. I'm going to save it as hello.txt. I'm going to exit, and I'm going to envim hello.txt. So this file exists as well. It's just not a Python file.
Is it bad if it's not like highlighted or different colors? Like syntax color?
Usually that just means it's not saved as a Python file.
Oh, okay.
So that's all. An easier way to get around this is, I'm going to just clear this. To do that, if you're in the terminal, if you type clear, it gives you a clean window. You can much more easily just type nvim and then the name of a file, and this is probably the easiest way to do things. So if I want to create pw.py, I can do so. And I can also create a new Python file, new.py, and then this will already start with the syntax highlighting. And so on. Did you have your hand up? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Could you run that back like
Yep.
okay.
Okay.
A couple minutes?
One way to get the color changes on the file, which is what I was talking about, is that where you want me to start? Okay. So this term, we're probably going to create a bunch of Python files. So like perhaps one to do calculations, right? So I'm going to want to create a new file. And I think I can do, I'll just do Vim this time as well for Mac users. I create something called calc.py. That's what the name of my file is eventually going to be. This file doesn't exist yet. Press enter and it opens. But down at the bottom it says calc.py new file. So I'm creating a new calc.py file. I can put some code, anything I want to do in here. For example, I'm going to press I to get into insert mode, def, calculate. Perhaps this takes an x and a y. And perhaps it raises the x to the power y plus 10. And then we return this. And we'll see that each of these different sort of types of things in Python, so def and return are keywords, so they're that kind of orangish. Calculate is the name of a function, so it's bluish. X and y are variables, which remain in white. And then 10 is a number, so it's in this sort of purple color. So this, in theory, makes it easier for many people to read code. So this is a feature provided by Neovim once I say that I'm working with a Python file. Angela?
How do you take that code back into Python?
Great question. I'm going to save and exit with X. And I already named this calc.py, so it already has a name. So I can do the X and press enter and I'm out. I think I have slides on how to do this next thing, so I'm going to keep going and we're going to see what happens. Okay. Right. In the NVim examples today, I think it will be ambiguous when I press escape. I'm trying to orally say all of my key presses. Just start mashing buttons if you get stuck. Something will happen eventually. And then if you get really stuck, raise your hand and we'll come help you, okay? But as a rule, when you're typing text into a file, you should be in insert mode, and it should say insert mode at the bottom. And when you're saving or exiting, you should press escape, colon, and then something. That's pretty much the rule of thumb. Okay. Here is write, which is an answer to a question that someone asked like 2 minutes ago. So you can save files under certain names with W. You can save and quit with :X. Are we out of time? No, they're out early. I will try and not keep you all the way to 1. I think I should show you how to run these from Python next time, so I'm actually going to do it really fast now for your curiosity, and then we'll actually teach it properly next time. Okay. I created something called calc.py. I'm going to introduce another command. This is cat. This is a way to seek. So that just shows the text of the file in the terminal. I'm going to open Python 3, and I'm going to import calc. So I'm importing the things from the part of the name before the .py. Import takes all of the code in that file and puts it in Python, but it puts it under the name calc. And then I'm going to say calc.calculate 10.7, and that will give me back the calculation that I was trying to perform. I don't like saying calc.calculate, so there's another trick. You can say from calc import star. This takes everything from the calc file and treats it as if it was written in the terminal. And so then I can say calculate 6.3. And that will give me 226, which is 6 cubed plus 10, I guess. That doesn't seem right to me. Yeah, I guess it is. Oh, because 36 times 6 is going to be 180 plus 36, which is 216. Okay, yeah. So this is how you can use the scripts that you've written in Neovim in Python, which is what we will go over on Wednesday. Thank you so much. Happy first day of class. Really impressed with your work today. Great job. So you're all awesome. I will see you on Wednesday.
Me too.
Oh no, I was recording instead of streaming? That's extreme.